Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is Transfers Live. This is Transfers Live. This is it. It's Transfers Live, which means that's Joe Smith. And we need you to get involved in the chat and the comments. We're going to be talking about Hojlund, Rasmus, Onana,
Nearly
Andre.
done. It's so close now, Onana,
Bro,
you know, Jay.
I was talking about this the other day on the news, and it's like, you go from, is it monitoring first? Or monitoring the situation rather than the player?
Yeah.
Or then you go to, you know, showing interest.
Oh,
yeah?
I love that.
Showing a bit of interest, yeah? Then you go to sort of sending scouts is another one. You send scouts to look at him. That's maybe the next step.
Yeah.
Then it's approach the player. They approach the player with a view to come into United. Then it's open talks with the player.
Yeah.
Then it's starting a dialogue with the club.
Oh, the dialogue with the club.
Dialogue with the club. And then you get into the agreed terms with the player. That seems to be how we get into transfers now.
Then you hear both clubs believe a compromise can be met.
Yes, compromise. That's the next phase, the next stage. And then you're into sort of, it's getting close.
Yeah. No.
Go on.
First bid made.
First bid made.
Rejected.
First bid made.
Instantly rejected.
Instantly rejected.
Here's the best one, Jay. Rejected out of hand. You know what I mean? That phrase. It's been rejected out of hand, Jay. This bid didn't even get to my hand, and I went, well,
reject.
My hand will not be allowing that bid in it.
Yes.
Then you get all the way up to done deal. Mason Mount on the pitch.
Mason Mount.
Delicious little cup of tea.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jay.
Right.
Okay, they're frantically grabbing at your collar.
Sorry,
like
someone just pointed out there. I look a bit all askew.
No, you look lovely.
Thank you.
Don't
Thanks
worry
for
about that.
pointing
Should we
out
start with
in the
Onana then?
First, no, we can start with a bit of subscribing.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah? Let's get to 800,000 subscribers. We've just got 700,000. Want to get to 800,000. With your support, we can do it. I'll go through some of the comments and then we'll get into the business.
Yeah.
Colin Coupleditch, Dalmas Sam, Ross Murphy, Liam Worrell, Paul Jones, Prabhav Kandawale, Duncan D's Nuts, nice. Remy Jones, was it? It's Remy Stone, Joe C. Loads of people commenting. I've just named some names of people commenting rather than reading the comments.
Not saying the comments, not replying to them, not having a dialogue, just saying the names.
It's how I do it.
That's really good.
Do you know what I mean? Just naming them.
Let's just get straight into Onana because loads has actually happened in the last few hours on Onana. It's a deal that we were saying over the last couple of days that it seems to have stagnated a little bit. Until tonight, we've seen Manchester United are now closing in on Andre Onana deal. As final verbal proposal has been made during talks today. It's understood that 50 million fee plus 5 million in add-ons. Structure of add-ons is being discussed. Then, done deal. It's imminent as expected. Jay, you seem to be on the phone there.
I'm on me and Fabrizio just having a chat. I'm just thinking, what do you think of that as your Twitter profile pic?
You look like you work in a call centre.
Do I?
Yeah.
I tried to do it once on Facebook. When we went to the World Cup when I was just at uni, just come out of uni.
Yeah.
We were in the World Cup like media bit.
Yeah.
And I weren't working there.
Yeah.
But I picked up a phone and someone took a photo and I used that on my profile like I wasn't working at the World Cup.
When he does it...
Because I had a pass on and everything.
If we can get the graphic full screen again. When he does it, my instinct, see Romano there, he's on the phone. He is sorting out deals. Yeah, right, yeah, well, send it this. What about this? What's going on in the room? When you do, if we could just cut to Jay.
Wait a minute, what if I go like this though?
You look like you're going, oh mate, do you come to 42s?
How much? What? Mate, I can get that for 30 quid off someone else.
Yeah.
On lay? Alright, sound, drop it off.
Yeah, yours has got a touch of that to it. It doesn't have quite that business acumen that Romano brings.
What about if I wear a shirt?
Perfect.
Right, sound.
Absolutely perfect.
There we go. Anyway, we're waiting for the here we go, aren't we?
Yeah.
It feels like he's sat on his laptop or his phone in between making his dealings and just pressing that H. And he's just got his finger having over the E. He's just about to write it all out for us. It feels that close.
I don't think he does that. I think, do you know you can set up on your phone little shortcuts? If you put OMW, it automatically goes to on my way. I think if he does HWG, his phone just goes, pops it into here we go for him. I don't think he has to put it all out now.
He's copyrighted it, hasn't he?
So, I mean, so says his
Twitter bio.
It's got a little copyright next
it
to
can't be, surely. That can't be true.
But they've been using that on all sorts.
Here
They've been
we
using
go,
that on anything from public beheadings to starting F1 races.
Yeah, that's been going on for like thousands of years. Do you know what I mean? That's like copywriting hello.
Yeah, or
you know.
begin. Do you know what I mean? Like, once upon a time. You can't have that.
Yeah, you can't say that. That's mine.
Brothers Grimm have been doing that. And that.
There's over 2,000 people watching.
And the rest.
And there is only 200 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Come on, people. Hit that like button. Right. Andre Onana, I watched him in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
Just how I roll. And the Champions League final.
Yeah.
And that's about it. You've watched a bit more of him, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of him at Ajax, a little bit of him at Inter Milan, and then obviously done a whole lot of research and looking at him over the last few weeks as well, since United have been interested in him. I think that in terms of the way United play, bringing him in will be the biggest single player change, or the biggest change we've seen from a single player in a very long time.
Since when?
Since May, probably Bruno Fernandes. So what's that, 3-4 years? I know it's not that long, but maybe even longer, to be honest. Maybe longer than that. He's going to completely change how we play out from the back. Like, a striker will win us more games and more trophies. He's not going to win us games from that deep line position. But it will help us control games, and it will help us keep pressure on teams. And there'll be times this season where for 25 minutes you'd be like, this is unbelievable. We just swarm in whenever they try and get the ball back. We win it back. We keep it up there. We pen them in. And then there'll be bits where it's like, hang on a second, the last 15 minutes, we've barely touched it. And they'll be attacking us, and he will make such a difference to that. Because when you're playing out from the back, when there's a lot of pressure on your team, if your keeper, and this is no exercise in slagging off David De Gea because there's absolutely no need to, but if your keeper has to go long, because when those minutes are happening where the opposition is having a lot of the ball, a lot of pressure, your keeper panics and struggles and is less likely to put a 10-yard pass together, and you have to go long, you're giving them the ball straight back.
Yeah.
When you can accept a little bit of pressure for a minute or two, but then you can still play the ball out from the back, you can immediately flip that over again, and you can make it so that Man United are holding the ball, holding the pressure, and I think he will make such a difference to how we play week in, week out. And he's going to make some mistakes, and he's going to look really stupid at times when he does, because he does things that are really risky, and he's basically trying to play as a central midfielder, as a goalkeeper, and he's not a central midfielder. But it's going to, I think, genuinely, revolutionise is too big a word, but it'll be a massive step in a different direction for United, and we're going to have to get used to that first of all, but then we're going to have to hopefully, or get to hopefully see a United team that can actually finally properly control games for long periods of time rather than 20-minute spells here and there.
Yeah, it does make sense, this deal, doesn't it? Because of the way he plays, and you look at that spine that you'd have with him. Martinez loves having the ball played to him. He can, he's good at carrying out defence. Casemiro, he's hardly doesn't get flustered really, does he? When he's got the ball played to him as well. Mount, obviously, he's been brought in for a reason. I mean, whoever is up front, whether it's Marcus or someone else, hopefully you have a really strong spine. Because I think I think it was Carl Anker who was saying, going back to like the days of Ole, our spine didn't make any sense because you had a goalkeeper who, when we started playing up further up the pitch and trying to play out from the back, because Ole tried it for a bit, didn't he? Yeah. Like it wasn't working because De Gea to Harry Maguire didn't work. No. And then you had to Fred, which didn't work. Linking up with Martial or whatever, it was disjointed. Yeah. This kind of makes more sense, the thread of the team, if you get what I'm on about.
Especially once we get a striker sorted, because then, like you said, if you think of it's, Onana, Martinez, Bruno or Casemiro or whatever, and then a striker, that all works. Like you've just said, that is coherent and it makes sense. And it's been a while since we've had that where every player on the pitch. I mean, at that point, the one thing my next question would be after this is, how often are we going to see Wan-Bissaka's weaknesses on the ball exploited? Because now in that back five, he becomes the one who is the least happy with the ball at his feet under pressure. And we'll see whether teams sort of try and funnel the play towards him and use him as a bit of a pressing point. Because we've seen that. We saw Arsenal do that pretty well, didn't we? I think at the Emirates.
To be fair, I understand your point. I think our weaknesses weren't just Wan-Bissaka in that scenario, though, as well. I think we were all over the gaff defensively in that game.
We were.
And I think De Gea's weaknesses were exploited, plus the fact that everyone collectively fell off a cliff at 75 minutes. Yeah. It's like that extra game in the midweek where we had the Palace game, they had no game, caught up with us, and everyone was just goosed. So I get your point, because like you say, out of all the back five, he's the one that's least comfortable. But I think there's a player in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I do. I think he can do a job for United. I think we've seen enough from him now. And I know he's not amazing going forward, but I think he has got a decent enough touch and he's fantastic defensively. I think with the right players around him, a goalkeeper behind him who isn't as panicky as David De Gea could be. Let's be honest. Let's not just canonise David De Gea now that he's left and pretend he was faultless, because he's a great goalkeeper, but he had his flaws. Yeah. But I think Onana behind him makes such a difference, because you look at it, if he's got it's Varane in it on the right hand side next to him, Onana behind him, I think he'll be all right. Loads of people in the comments. Also, don't forget, if you've not done it already, to hit that subscribe. Put a subscribe link in the chat, please, producer Callum. Chris Peak 83 says, wonder if Erik ten Hag asked for Onana for a free last year. Did you see there was a piece in the, I can't remember what it was, I want to say the Athletic, but I might have been wrong. And it was talking about like the story of David De Gea, and I think it said that when Erik ten Hag came in, he looked at the wages that David De Gea was on, he was never going to be a number 2, and he just thought, right, that's just not happening. I'm not dealing with that now. Yeah. He's number 1. That's the end of that.
What else could he do?
Yeah, he wasn't going to.
No one's going to buy him.
No, and Dean Henderson already left, I think, by the time on loan. I know he could have recalled him, but it was a mess. So I think it was just like, David De's the goalkeeper this season. Yeah. That's the end of that.
And also, you had Ronaldo not being in pre-season as well, which I know were for personal reasons, but he had other things on the docket before a keeper that we can't really sell because no one needs him and he's on too much money. Yeah. And let's be honest, there's no reason for Ten Hag to think he could be amazing this season. Yeah. De Gea has had amazing seasons for Man United. So it was always possible that he could have had one last year. He had Ronaldo, there was the Greenwood situation, there was the fact that no strikers have scored 20 goals in 2 years for United. Like, there was a lot of things to worry about before De Gea. So it makes sense that he gave him that season. We
were talking about it today, you've got to take some things off your table straight away. Yeah. You can't deal with everything. I know people say, well, Fergie, no, he didn't. No. Certain things he delegated, certain things he said, right, just let's forget about that. And I think when Erik ten Hag came in, he's like, Maguire's a captain, that's dealt with. De Gea's my goalkeeper, that's dealt with. Yeah. You know what I mean? I believe in Marcus, because there was rumours that Marcus might be, you know, because he had a bad season. He's my guy. There was certain things he just dealt with straight away, and I was impressed by that. And by and large, you got it all right. Charlie Curran, welcome to the first team. Don't forget to go and check out the members section as well. Extra content. There's going to be loads of extra content for members coming up when we're in America. Yeah. We're going to be doing all vloggy stuff and all that sort of stuff. Just more stuff about us and being over there and what we get up to for members. And also, behind the scenes stuff. Secret stuff. On the main channel, you'll get all the good stuff. The interviews as well. The interviews, the reactions, the previews, the live breaking news. So make sure you are subscribing. Dameless Sam, who's been a member of the Academy for 16 months, says, can't believe we've lost out on Milinkovic-Savic to the Saudi League. I can't believe Milinkovic-Savic isn't a transfer rumour for United this summer. Me and you stood here, ever since we've known each other, in a transfer window, going Milinkovic-Savic, been linked with United. I remember doing this story in 2018 on Devils, I think it was, saying Milinkovic-Savic linked with Manchester United, and he's gone to the Saudi League. It's over. The Milinkovic-Savic links are done.
I just thought it would happen.
I did.
It's just unbelievable, really. It's just sad. Sad day.
Sad day.
When you see a United legend like that.
I know.
When you see him move on, it is sad.
It is, isn't it? He's part of the United fabric, isn't he?
He is.
He should get a testimonial.
I think it's been 10 years of links.
Yeah, it's been 10,
do you know what I mean?
10 years of links.
I think at that point you do get a testimonial. It's only on a 5-a-side pitch, but you still get one.
Danny Shields in a super chat says, hey lads, odd request, but could I ask for a shout out for my dog? My Kobe left us yesterday, a true United fan. He's watched every United game, with me for 10 years, shouting at the telly along with me. Devoed, Kobe is it, Danny? Danny, a big shout out to Kobe. We lost our cat recently. I know it's different, but it's a pet. It's never nice. It's always a tragedy and something that really hits you hard. So yeah, big shout out to Kobe.
Sorry to hear that.
It's a bit sad. Thanks for your support as well, Danny. You've always shown us a lot of love, and it is appreciated, brother. Right, what's the next story?
Next up, we've got Rasmus Hojlund. Big money, big bucks that we're talking here. This Hojlund deal, I think United need. Well, I'll get to it afterwards. I'm worried about this. Proposal rejected.
Story of my life, that.
Me and you.
Hey, you've got cameras in my house.
What?
I'm insinuating I proposed to my missus and rejected.
Oh, I thought you meant on the chat rooms that you go on. The video ones.
We're live.
I think we were telling them about earlier. No. If you say to them,
I've never been on a video in the chat room.
Sometimes they'll let you in the private shows for free, you said.
Oh, you know about private shows. Right, get on with this, you.
Atalanta reject United's player exchange proposal for Hojlund.
I'm angry with Atalanta.
Why?
Who the fucking hell do you think they are?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Like,
they had one slightly entertaining team 4 years ago, and now they think they're fucking Goldman Sachs.
37 million offers for Amad Diallo after he played an hour of professional football. This kid scored 9 goals in Serie A, and you want 86 million quid for him. Are you on crack?
Well, this is from Lauren Whitwell in The Athletic, and obviously, friend of the channel, incredibly reliable, tier 1 journalist.
Yes.
You know, if he's saying it, it's almost certainly true. Manchester United have offered players in part exchange for Rasmus Hojlund during talks with Atalanta, but the Italian club are insisting on a cash payment. Discussions over Hojlund are happening in conjunction with negotiations for Andre Onana, as United try to balance the financial commitments of both to fit in with the club's summer budget, which is around €100 million. It is in this context that United floated the idea of swap deals plus money for Hojlund, with several players up for sale. Separate loans were also suggested. There you go.
So
there's also, I don't know if we've got this on the graphic, but there was the rumour that, and I think they mentioned it, that Laurie mentioned it, was that they want around 85 million quid for him.
Yeah, that's like ridiculous.
I think
he's a good young player.
Yeah,
I get it.
Not got in there, but he did.
86 million for someone who's had all right, he's on the cusp and he could be amazing, but it's a lot. You don't pay 86 million quid for someone who's just had a season where they scored, what was it, 13 goals, whatever.
17, I think.
17, 9 in the league, sorry, and 8 in other competitions.
But
I mean, it's a lot, that.
Yeah, when you look especially at Serie A as well, and I went through a few weeks ago when we were linked with Osimhen about the kind of known quality of the players who are the top scorers in Serie A. And when we've seen them in other leagues, it has not typically gone well. And yet they can go to Serie A, even often after they've been in the Premier League, and absolutely tear it up. Dzeko's one. We've seen Icardi with big numbers, barely gets a game at PSG. Higuain, I think, he actually broke the goal-scoring record in Serie A. I think 18 months later went to Chelsea, was horrendous. Lukaku got 30 goals in Serie A 2 seasons ago. The year he left Manchester United, having scored 10, 12, 16 goals or something, and just not a good enough all-round footballer to play for United, goes to Serie A, scores 30 goals, wins them the league. Like, goals in Serie A seemingly don't have a great translation rate, like a great exchange rate to goals in the Premier League. So that's not to say he's not a great player, or couldn't be a great player, but when you also factor in the fact that 2 years ago he was being released by Copenhagen, I don't understand what these, you add up all these criteria, you add up all these pieces, and how does that equal 85 million euros, 85 million quid? There is no possible set of, you can't reorder his life and his trajectory in his career and the league that he's in to make him worth 85 million. That isn't possible. So obviously that's probably what they're saying to start with. But it sounds as though United are going in there with, there was talk of a 50 million sort of let's just get it done. There's now talk of this player plus money thing to kind of, work on the FFP side of things, get rid of players who are willing to sell, etc. But you can't just pay ridiculous money for him. Like, I think that would be really, really stupid to spend that amount of money on him. And he could be a top player, but you look at someone like Belotti, who, do you remember him, this striker? I think he played for Juve in the end. He went around Italy. He looked really promising about 10 years ago, and United were linked with him when he was a teenager or had just turned 20, somewhere in that region, 7 or 8 years ago. And he got similar goals to Hojlund. He got more, actually. I think he got 18 goals in the league, and just went on to be a, 10 to 15 goal a season Serie A striker with, not a particularly remarkable career. And you just think he could so easily be like that. And it would be insane to me to spend that much money on a player that, like I said, Haaland is someone that from the age of about 10, people sort of knew this guy's special.
Yeah.
And consistently proved it at every club he was at. You're spending more than Haaland, which I know his release clause related, but he's going to be one of the most expensive strikers of all time if we paid that for him. For someone that, like I said, 2 years ago was being released by a team in Denmark. Yeah. Like, it doesn't add up.
No, I get it. And the only sort of slight worrying thing like that is the fact that they're so outrageous with that figure. Had it been like, we want 60, which I think is too much, but at least it's not a million miles away from where United are probably at. United are probably thinking 30 or 40. Atalanta say 60. You think you can get somewhere.
Like we've seen with Onana.
Yeah, you can get in the middle ground here when it works. But if they're saying 86 and United are saying 30, you're too far away. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if maybe that's them trying it, and they could end up with egg on the face. It could go either way, that because we could say, right, walk away. Next season he scores 5 goals. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
You ain't getting big money for him now.
No.
Admittedly, next season he could score 30 goals, and then his stock rises. But yeah, I think if you can get him for 40 million, I think that's about right. Anything towards the sort of 60 plus is overpaying.
I think it's ridiculous.
I think it's because people as well are sort of comparing him to Haaland. Oh, he's Scandinavian, he's blonde,
His
and he's
name's similar.
Yeah, and he's young and he scored. Haaland's different. Haaland was different, Graver.
Yeah.
He just was from a very early age, like you were saying. Loads of people in the comments. Let us know what you think, and let's hit that like button. We've got 600 likes. 1,000 likes. Over 3,300 people watching. Jay Cowder says 50 would be fair even. Aaron Moore says, "What's happening, lads? 15 minutes behind." And Jay, it's still Aaron from Instagram. Hi, Aaron. You good? Ross Murphy says 40 to 50 million is a fair price.
Do you know something? I actually don't even think it is a fair price.
Go on, then.
I think for what he's done, they're still getting a great deal at 50 million. I think they do this thing in like basketball trades where you can put like players into an equation and it tells you who's getting the better deal based on like their average stats, how long they've got left on the deal, all that stuff. It's different to football, obviously, but if you were to think of it as a weighing scale of you put 50 million on one side and Hojlund on the other, I think we're still giving them a great fucking deal for 50 million quid for a lad who's had one good season in his life.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even a thing? How can they possibly reject 50 million quid?
It's like with the whole
unbelievable.
With the Diallo thing, we went very early, didn't we, with him? And I think it was up to 37 million. I think he's got to hit certain markers to get the 37 million. We went early, and I like Diallo. I think he could be a quality player. But that summer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been better served as a manager spending that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because he brought in Palestri, he brought in Diallo, he brought in
Cavani.
Cavani, who did all right, to be fair. Van der Beek.
Yeah.
You could have got the money you spent on Van der Beek, Palestri and Diallo and spent that on someone who could have done a job for you there and then in that defensive midfield hole we had in our team for about 5 years. So, yeah, I just feel like this kid, he's up and coming.
Yeah.
And that's how you should be treating him. Not as though he's ready now to come into the Premier League and be your main striker. I still don't think he is. And I think if you're going to spend money on him like he is, that established Harry Kane type player, you're going to put more pressure on him. The expectation is going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
And unless he starts banging in goals every week, people are going to go, well, you've overspent, it's a waste of money, which can sort of undermine him as well. So it is a little bit concerning that they're playing hardball. Hopefully, the price will come down and it'll start being a bit more realistic. But one thing I will say, and I don't say this very often, I quite like what United have done in the idea of United offering players. That's a bit more joined up, innit?
Yeah.
Because you think we've got players there that could no doubt do a job for Atalanta, who we don't need. Can we do a deal there? It's just a shame they're not buying, because you think if we'd have given them, say, I don't know, Donny van der Beek and Andy Martial, and 20 million or whatever, yeah, you probably think, right, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's happy, but they're not having any of it. And like you said the other week, it's very rare as well to send 2 players in exchange for 1. Let us know what you think. Anyway, what else have you got for us?
Yeah, Amrabat.
Amrabat, Sofian.
Yes. Sofian Stumble here.
Is that your favourite type of dancing? The Sofian Stumble? Oh, let's all do the stumble. Ooh, nice, nice.
Thank you. Due to Ten Hag's priorities, I like that. That's like his wife saying it. She's furious with him. Due to your priorities, a move for Sofian Amrabat is entirely dependent on sales, isn't it? Hey? Because you think, for whatever fucking reason, that we need a centre defensive midfielder, don't you? Well, it's a striker. He hasn't scored a goal in 2 years, Eric. Your bloody priorities with that car. Spent all your money on a new engine, ain't you?
Are you being Ten Hag's wife a minute? I'm confused with this.
World,
yeah.
I'm being the disgruntled wife or husband of Eric Ten Hag.
Right, okay. Nah, I got it. Yeah.
That's a very sort of passive-aggressive way of saying it.
Yeah.
Due to your priorities, the kids haven't got any fucking birthday presents, have they? Because you think going to the pub and spending all the money on a pint of mild is the right way to do things. Eric Ten Hag's main priorities are, in order, a goalkeeper with Inter's Andre Onana, and a striker with Atalanta's Rasmus Hojlund, currently the most realistic option. United are negotiating with both Italian clubs in order to bring the two within budget, after which the Dutch coach will seek to bolster his midfield. You've spent a lot of money on trying to bolster your midfield, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Honestly, so many trips to Turkey, operations. and the midfield remains unbolstered.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's a waste of money.
You said the pump will change my
Yeah,
life.
I quite like this formation we've got, the words here.
Yeah, it's sort of like a 3-1-2-1 formation, if you
Do you know
go
what I
sort of north to south. West Ham United are waiting until the formality of Declan Rice's move to Arsenal is completed, at which point they will step up strong interest in Scott McTominay. That's according to The Independent.
Step up strong interest, there you go.
That's a new one.
We've had some strong interest, but we're going to step it up a bit.
Yeah.
Now it's really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong.
Almost overpowering, actually.
Overpowered.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
They will step up there, I'll be honest, overpowering these.
So you're crossing a line, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah,
We might have to get the police involved.
Yeah, it's actually
Creepy.
It's vulgar.
It's vulgar and
It's
creepy now.
genuinely
You've
rancid.
stepped it up a bit too much. Danny Jackson says, would we not just be better off going for Evan Ferguson from Brighton?
Again, I'm not 100% convinced he's the man either.
No. And
Like
Brighton,
it.
and he just signed a new deal at Brighton.
He has, and
Which
also-
means he would cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brighton, like, they're a club that are usually quite savvy at selling players, aren't they? Which doesn't bode well for us if we did go for Evan Ferguson. I just don't see that happening at all. Evan Ferguson.
I think this is a massive time, this for United, this striker situation. It's so massive. Look at the last... Van Persie's the last striker we signed. No. Because he was only there for 2 years, really.
Go on.
Who's the last striker that Man United signed? It's Rooney, I can tell you the answer. That we signed, that was at United and successful at United for 3 years in a row. Which is, you know, when people say, oh, we should sign him, he's only young, he can be at the club for 10 years. That is an absolute no chance dream world when people say that. No one signs and plays for 10 years at the same club. That isn't possible. When's the last time we had a striker that was good for 3 years in a row, Jay? Let alone 4, 5, 6, 10, like we always think that's the dream. 3 years in a row. It's Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
And we signed him nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking massive, difficult position to fill. We've been looking for 20 years for a striker that is consistently good for us.
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, because every time I think of a striker, like when I'm thinking of, you know, I don't know, Berbatov or Tevez only there for 2 years, or even more recently, Chicharito, or like you say, Van Persie.
But there's ups and downs
to
all of them.
Martial, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's not where you go, 3 years he was consistently good.
No.
All those players had one season in the first three that weren't great, or weren't here for 3 years, which is obviously, you know,
just, and that's insane to think about. And like, you know, I know we're talking about...
But to be fair though, like, you can say that for a lot of clubs.
You can, but you can't say that for a lot of successful clubs.
Yeah, that's true.
Like City had Aguero.
Yeah.
Liverpool have got Salah. I know he's not a number 9, but he's a very much an attacker, isn't he? Yeah. We've got Rashford, but we didn't sign him. It's not. We didn't like going out and picking someone. Yeah. Like City have now got. I mean, they haven't got Hojlund yet because he's not been there for 3 years. But they've got a young option that is clearly world class. Like, look at the great Chelsea team. They had Drogba. They had. I don't know if Costa was even there for 3 years, but certainly Drogba. Before that,
Chelsea were quite good though at getting a couple of seasons out of players as well.
Yeah.
Like Costa was a good example. He helped them win the league, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't mind if a striker comes for a couple of seasons like Tevez did and wins us the league and the Champions League. But these strikers are coming in and winning either a trophy or, in this case, Lukaku, nothing.
No.
And then going at a loss and then having to be replaced. So I think we do need to try and get someone who's going to be a bit more long term. I don't think we should give up on the idea, but you're right.
Yeah.
We've just not done it. And we,
so
you know, you go back years, we used to do it all the time. If you look at like the late or the early 90s, you know, Mark Hughes came back to the club. He was top of his game for another 5 or 6 years at United, whatever it was, from like, was it 1990 to 95 when he left. Eric came in, he was there from 92 to 97. Andy Cole came in, who was fantastic for 6 years, whatever it was. Even Teddy, you know, had a sort of ropey spell, but he was consistently good for a little quite a while.
Rude was great for 3-4 years.
Yeah, Rude was great for the numbers from Rude were phenomenal.
Rooney.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we used to get it right. Maybe it's just that thing as well. Maybe it's all connected that when you're a successful team, you're bringing in players, they want to stick around. They're part of a successful team. They're feeding off all the chances they're getting. When you're coming into a team that's struggling, it's not all erratic like we've been. It's not the same. Plus, we've gone down this route. Of like, you know, Zlatan, Igalo, Cavani, Ronaldo, these 33, 34, 35-year-olds. Yeah. Like, that's never going to be a long-term option, is it? And it just gives it always seems to give the next manager another headache to deal
But
with.
it's also bizarre, this thing, because at first, the rumours were like, and it's always been the same thing. Since we started that, who was the first one? I mean, Van Persie really sort of set that tone, didn't he? He's 30.
Yeah.
And since then, we've pretty much consistently, except when we got Lukaku, had a 30-plus-year-old striker. Like, Zlatan was meant to be the sort of, until Lukaku gets here or until the next striker gets here. Then that didn't work. But then you had Cavani and Igalo and Ronaldo, who were they biding the time for? Who were they waiting for? Who were they setting up? There seems to be no... Who is that person?
No.
Did we not know? Was it literally like we can think 5 years ahead and we don't know who the next striker's going to be?
You could kind of understand it, couldn't you, if... Maybe... I don't know, maybe looking too far into it. But if you had someone like a Mason Greenwood where you're going, this kid's gifted, in 3 years, obviously we didn't know
maybe
what was
that's
going
what
to
we
happen.
thought when Cavani came.
Yeah, maybe think like give him 2-3 years, he's going to be a 25-year goal a season striker, as sure as the day is long. But I don't know, I doubt it. And I think every manager at United post Fergie has had the same thing. It's I need instant success.
Yeah.
I haven't got a striker I don't need a striker who's going to be good in 3 years or next season. I need him now.
Yeah.
So if he's 34 but he's got something in him now, that is what I need. I need to win trophies or challenge for the top 4 now, as I'm out of a job in the summer. Because Jose said it, didn't he, when he was at Chelsea, and he had Kevin De Bruyne and he had Mo Salah when they were young, and he let them both go. But that year they won the league. He said, I don't care what they were going to do in 3 or 4 years. I wasn't going to be here then. No. My priority was that season, and that's what I focused on, and I was a success that season, and I think that's what's happened at United. We'll get into some of the comments anyway. Red Devils 99 says, Hojlund and Amrabat or Kane given outgoing mids.
I'd take just Kane.
Yeah, I would as well. I don't think it'll happen, but I would. Danny says, learned nothing since Maguire. Inter want 60. United say 40, 45, 50, 55. Okay, 58 final offer. Then push how they got the player under asking price. Useless board. That's what he says. Max Kelly says, Dimarzio just said he's done. Just said Onana is done. Should we check that out? Jim Max says, is Kane still on? No, I think he's done.
We're going to look a little bit...
What about Lukaku again, says Paul Pogba, Red Devil? I think you've been drinking.
It's going to look a bit funny as well, innit, when we sign Hojlund for 75 million and Bayern sign Kane for 90 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like 15 million more, you could have had maybe the best striker in Europe, or certainly top 3. And then, obviously, there's the age difference. But again, if you think of the 3-year thing, I know that's not a real thing, that's just a number I've come up with because United haven't had a striker who's been good for 3 years in a row in 15 years. Harry Kane, I am almost certain, would be good for United for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's worth 100 million quid. I honestly do.
Yeah, I agree. Romano tweeted, was it 10 minutes ago? Yeah. We're getting into as much of an update as you can get and getting as close as you can get without actually saying, here we go.
How is he not saying, here we go? Read that out.
It says, Andre Onana on his final dinner in Milano, here at Javier Zanetti's Botinero restaurant, Manchester United and Inter are closing in on final details of the deal. All parties expect Onana to become new Man United player in the next hours. Almost there.
So what journalistically, Jay, what criteria do you think haven't been met in terms of him giving out a here we go for this? Because this is more emphatic and definite than half the here we goes we get.
I know.
It's often there'll be something like, imagine Andre Onana to Man United, here we go. All that's left is the final details on the fee, and then he will be a United player. Yeah. This is like, he's holding a picture of him. Scroll down, please. He's holding a picture of, I think it's just signed by Zanetti, but it's like he's having his final meal. Like, this is it. This is happening. Surely we can get a here we go in before this video ends. Do you know what I mean? This is insane how far this has come without...
Everyone's trying to sort of...
Here we go.
Get there. I've seen a few tweets from people trying to say it's done, but it's not quite done.
What do you think the deal is? It feels like there's something crucial missing at the minute. It doesn't make any sense why people aren't going for this. Because you look at, we got here we go on Rice 2 weeks ago and he still hasn't signed.
Yeah.
How can that be closer than this?
Like, what? Sorry.
Like, that was done 2 weeks ago and we still haven't heard. This feels like he's going to be playing for United in a week.
Yeah.
He's had his final meal. It's done. All parties think this will be done. What's missing?
It's just little things like, does that include petrol to the stadium?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about days in lieu?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Can I keep?
Yeah.
You know,
toil. He had a lot of toil built up because he
keep
came into training early.
the training kit and that, or do I have to give it back when I leave?
Yeah.
You know, little things like that.
Yeah, you've
Those
had
are
that before, haven't you?
the nuts and bolts of a
He's
contract.
like, signs the contract and he goes,
No.
can I keep this pen?
Can I keep this pen?
And you go, we're going to have to draft a new contract, to get the pen in there.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, well, can I keep this old contract then?
Yeah.
Even though it says void on it. And can I keep the void stamp?
And the staple.
Yeah, that's like us when we go on holiday and that's the hotel. Can I keep this toilet roll? Because it is in the room and I pay for the room. Okay.
Can I keep these pillows?
Can I keep the little stand that the toilet roll comes on? Because that's movable as well.
If you see anything,
Can I keep the shit that I found in this kettle?
you had to go there, don't you?
What?
Hey, shit again.
Apparently, have you heard about this, Jay?
What?
The hotel kettles are just full of shit and piss. Every single hotel you've ever been in,
Yeah.
the kettle
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
been filthed in. Everyone.
I know.
Top to
So
bottom.
what I do when I go in a hotel? Where's the kettle? Here we go.
Yeah.
Here's my here we go.
Boil
in the kettle.
this.
Yeah.
You say,
Have a bit of this, you premiering bastards.
Premiere in, premiere out, more like. Can't say the word premiere, ruin the joke. Anyway, let's move on, baby. Premiere out, more like. Fart into a kettle. Goodbye. That's true though. Everyone pisses in them all the time. Never drink hot tea and coffee out of a kettle. Unless you
I've
boil
been
it
doing that
first.
all the time, man.
Yeah, no, honestly, the first round, you boil it, you pour it away. Because you know there's a businessman in there. And let's be honest, he's called Richard, and he's pissed in that kettle. First
Who
day.
pisses in kettles, though?
Weirdos.
That's proper.
But then
mental,
again, who
isn't it?
stays in hotel rooms by themselves on a business trip? Richards.
Yeah, you
Isn't it?
know,
It's
you know
Richards,
what's going
it's
down.
Richards.
You know what's going down there, don't you?
Yeah.
We've almost got to 1,000 likes. So can people please like the video?
Yeah.
People saying DiMarzio said it's done. Can we try and find that out? I couldn't see it on his Twitter, but we'll try and find out if he has said it's been done, because a lot of people are saying that. And remember when DiMarzio was the guy?
Yeah.
He was the main man.
He was in the room when Darmian signed for United, wasn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, he was like Skype, and Romano's like Zoom.
Yeah. And the year 2018 was COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like he's the main guy, nothing
Yeah.
to worry about. Got a monopoly on this shit, mate.
Yeah.
I've got it boxed off, and the next thing you know, Romano just shot to the front
It's
and is
mental
now
that with
just
Skype.
turboed through it.
It's mental that with Skype, because Skype's owned by Microsoft.
Right.
So it's not like they ain't got a big backing.
Yeah.
How did they let Zoom do this to them? They fell asleep at the wheel big time, didn't they? Skype. Oh,
It's like
Skype.
Apple with BlackBerry. No one uses iPhones anymore, do they? Everyone's on BlackBerry.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? After that happened.
I don't even know.
Do you know what I mean? Remember when everyone was on iPhones and that? And now everyone I know is on BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah, what is your BB IM? BB number. What? Can't do the joke, don't have a BlackBerry. But honestly, I love the joke, Jay. It's a little twist on people having Blackberries and iPhones, and I can't carry on with it because I didn't have a BlackBerry and I don't know the sort of intricacies.
Yeah.
Really nice stuff though, lovely bit of humour that. What people
Can we
saying in
get
the
to
comments?
1,000 likes? We're almost there.
What's happening with DiMarzio? We've got two of our best men on it.
He's not tweeting.
He's not tweeting anything. If you just search his name in Twitter, what are other people saying that he said?
Right, loads of people are saying this, but I think we're being led up the garden path.
Oh wait, have we been?
Yes.
I hate doing that. Do you want to talk about Joao Felix, Jay? Until we get a bit more clarity on
Wow,
the
that's
situation.
a very dark comment there from someone. Yeah, it's Felix. Don't look at me like you're about to one-hour me. That's what he said when he did his press conference when he was at Chelsea.
Where do you stand on this? Because, for instance, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to lay a couple of situations out for you, and I'm not giving my opinion, I'm just presenting the situation to you.
Yeah, that old chest.
When people I'm talking about when people apply an accent to a word from a certain country.
Yeah.
So, for instance, party capital of the world, island off of Spain.
Blackpool.
No. Right.
Ibiza.
Correct.
Right.
You're saying it with a th instead of a z. That's standard. Everyone
Yeah.
says Ibiza, right?
Right.
If I were to order a carbonara, you would think I was a twat,
Right, yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If I ordered a curry in an Indian accent,
Yeah.
everyone would think I'd lost my mind.
Yeah.
So how do we decide which words we say in the tone of the native language, and which words we say in an anglicised or anglified
See, I always
version.
go with an anglicised version.
Yeah.
I think it sounds proper, just stupid.
But in Ibiza, you're
when-
saying the...
Yeah, a bit, yeah. I think, though, that's maybe a bit of an exception.
Yeah.
Like, I always think if you're trying to put on an accent, you sound like Joey Barton giving a press conference.
That's what I mean.
It just sounds ridiculous. Or Steve McLaren, it just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
I think you just speak in your normal voice and your normal accent.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say with Felix is because he was asked it and he said it.
Yeah.
It was like, it's actually Felix.
And also, Felix, I suppose you're not putting an accent on. You're
No.
just hitting
It's like-
the L pretty hard.
It's like when Memphis Depay signed, didn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Everyone was saying Depay. Because that's how it's spelt, and it's like, it's Depay. Yeah, I just wondered what you thought. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, I'll call him Felix if that's what it's called. According to ABC via Metro, Manchester United are considering the signing of Joao Felix. If United would like to pursue the signing of Joao Felix, they will inevitably face competition. According to the report, Newcastle are interested, along with Europa Conference League side, wow, strange way of presenting them, Aston Villa. Manchester United, Newcastle and Aston Villa have all reportedly made contact over a possible deal, although there has been no offer yet. Villa will struggle to tempt Felix as they cannot offer Champions League football, but the Red Devils and the Magpies will be competing in Europe's top competition next season. Jay Motti, how do you pronounce the name of the Spanish left wing come striker that scored the winning goal in the 2012 Euros? Play for Barcelona?
David Villa?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right then, how do you pronounce the team from Birmingham, Aston
Villa.
you simply can't trip this man up. He is untrippable. It's amazing. Like, I thought I had you you said it, pronounced it, everything fine. I thought I had you there, and you've absolutely.
Yeah, I love the fact you pointed out how weird this is, along with Europa Conference League side, Aston Villa. Like, I get it because he's setting us up for the Champions League story a bit later on. You're having this kid or what?
No.
That ship sailed, hasn't it?
For what?
Like,
What is he?
I think he's all right, you know.
I think he's a good player, but I don't know what he is.
Do you know what I think he
He's
is?
not a striker. He's not.
I
a
think he's
number 10.
one of those who he's like the opposite of Bruno Fernandes, right? He doesn't put numbers up, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. I'm not saying Bruno's bad, but there's times when Bruno can have a bit of a bad game and score and get an assist. And you'll be had a bit of a stinker today, but he won us the game. So, you know, is that a stinker? This kid can be mint and not score and not assist.
Yeah.
And you'll lose. And you're like, well, that was lovely watching him do great tricks and doing some good stuff, but he didn't help us win a football match.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel with Felix.
He's clearly incredibly talented.
Yeah.
You can see why he sold for a lot of money at a young age, because on the ball and off the, like, his intricacies are superb. Like, you watch him, you go, fucking hell, he's got something about him.
Yeah.
But then you look, year after year after year, 8 goals, 8 assists, 10 goals, 4 assists, 12 goals, 3 assists. You're like, where are these big numbers that back up, you know, how good you look?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think we need a number 9 goal scorer. We've already got Mason Mount, who's a very good number 10. We've got Bruno Fernandes, who's one of the best number 10s in the world. We don't need this sort of number 9, number 10, 9.5 hybrid that Joao Felix is. I just think he's going to cost a shitload of money, and it's a position we just absolutely don't need. And to be honest, I don't really even think we'll be going after him.
Philip Collier says, Felix is all fart and no poo.
Yeah.
That's a lovely analogy, that. Absolutely. Yeah. Top draw. Can you hit that like button, please? We need to get to 1,000 likes, and we're about 24 away. And we've got over 4,000 people watching. If you're not done as well, or not, if you've not done already, hit the subscribe. Let's put another subscribe link in the chat. Hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers. And with your support, we can do it. Right, let's talk about Anthony Elanga.
One of 3 Anthonys at the club.
Yep.
That's really all I've got. No. Both Forest and Everton are reportedly interested in signing Elanga. Nottingham Forest are apparently working on a deal to sign Anthony Elanga, who has been priced at £10 million by United. MEN Sport also reported earlier today that Everton are interested in Elanga, and again, this was backed up by Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic as well. This is after an approach in January. Elanga, 21, was close to joining Everton on loan on transfer deadline day in January, but United blocked the move at the 11th hour. Fabrizio Romano says Everton will hold direct talks with Manchester United for Anthony Elanga. New round of negotiations will take place soon after showing initial interest. I think this just feels right, doesn't it? I think this makes sense that he's going to leave. I think the fee, you're looking at a double digits fee. What are you laughing at?
Someone's put in a comment, right? And the right... What?
Huh.
Romano, someone has put in the comments. Let me find who said it. And I didn't notice this at first because I only just lacked it. Danny Shields, actually, in the Super Chat. And we'll get to Elanga in a minute.
Yeah.
I do want to revisit that.
Yeah.
Says, Romano has his own watermark on the picture of Onana at the restaurant, which makes me think he's there and fully ITK on this. Just a thought. If you look on that picture that Romano's tweeted...
Of Andre Onana at Zanetti's restaurant.
Yeah, can we get that on the screen in a minute? And if you zoom in on like his chest, like just slightly below his chest, like his solar plexus area.
Wow, big use. Solar plexus. Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
What's that?
What?
Didn't expect you to say solar plexus. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the word solar plexus to the word sternum, do you?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, sternum is what you say if you're thick, and solar plexus is what you say if you've got a degree from the University of Salford.
Sternum is also the Mayor of Manchester.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah. I've interviewed him a few times.
Can we get this on the screen? We've got some of our best men working on it once again. If we can just... there you go, look. And you can see... Oh, I'm behind it, obviously. So, in the centre there, level with my finger, look across. On the white of the thing that he's holding, whatever that is, you can see Amano, and obviously he's got a black t-shirt.
Just on that, what is he holding?
It's the menu you signed it.
It's the menu?
I thought it was like a picture he'd drawn. I thought it was like my son when he comes home from school.
At first I thought it was a
look
cake.
what I've done. Look at this. Just me and me drawing and that.
It says Onana 24. Wait, that's his own signature. Does it say Onana?
Yeah.
Why has he signed it himself? What?
What do you mean?
Who's he signed it for? The owners
the owner of the restaurant, I presume so.
But that's Zanetti. He don't want an Onana signature, does he?
He might do. Might be worth something.
But anyway,
maybe that's his contract with
United.
United.
That's a good point. This has been watermarked by Romano. And if we can just have a quick look, Alexei, can you find any version of that image that doesn't have that watermark on? Just look for sort of 20 seconds or whatever.
What about
he might have taken that picture of Romano.
Or he might have bought it. Someone might have offered it him.
That's a really nice point.
Because he doesn't have to be there, does he? Someone could go, I've just took a picture of Andre Onana. Yeah. Do you want it? Do you want to buy it off me?
500 quid, it's yours.
And you can have it. And then he's watermarked it because he's bought it. He owns it.
That's a good point.
But you don't know because he is connected. He's based in Italy as well, isn't he, Romano? So it's not. In fact, he's actually based in Milan, isn't he? So it's not beyond the realms of possibility they took it. We'll have to wait and see. But it definitely does feel like this is the most done deal of done deals that hasn't been done yet.
I just noticed something.
What?
Just when you were talking there.
What? Do you know what? No. I'm giving you that one. I am absolutely giving you that one.
It's a little Oasis joke.
That is absolute top tier.
Don't look back, Elanga.
Yeah, it would have been easy to go for the old rhythm is a dancer pun or something like that, the chant, but you've actually done really well. I like that. What do you reckon?
I think it's excellent.
Who came up with that one? Alexei.
It's really well done.
He's done it again. After the debacle of the other week, what was the one the other week which you weren't happy about?
Onana, what's your price?
Yeah, Onana, what's your price? Which is just,
horrendous.
I'm 8 pints in and I've been asked to come up with a pun. Onana, what's your price? Fucking. And the dizzy heights of the other one. What was the other one that they were? Oh,
Ain't no mountain bid high enough.
That was class.
That was Alexei.
Don't look back, Elanga. I'm having that one. I like it. Really nice. Get involved in the comments in the chat and let us know whether you like it too.
Jay, Elanga to Everton or Aston Villa? Was it Aston Villa?
Yeah, people like it. Everyone's liking it. I think these are good. Sorry. I think these are good moves for Elanga.
Yeah, me too.
I think Everton's probably. I don't know. It's close, but I think Everton's probably a slightly better move for him. I would say, because Forest seem a bit erratic with the signings. The chance he goes to Forest and doesn't even play. Yeah. Look at what happened with Jesse. But I think if he goes to Everton, he'll get minutes. It's a big club. I know they don't have much success in sort of Premier League standards, but been around for ages. Got a great fan base.
Yeah.
You know, passionate fans and all that.
Been in the top league for 70 years.
Yeah, history.
They're a very big club.
And I know it sounds daft, but from a sort of life point of view, you don't have to move to the other end of the country. You don't even have to move. So, yeah, it's not too unsettling for him. He's only 21. He's had, let's be honest, he's had a pretty awful 18 months.
Yeah.
Like, let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
He's not scored since February 2022. He's barely got an assist since then either. He's lucky if he gets 5 minutes at the end of a game, and he seems to come on when he does come on, People don't pass to him. He just seems a bit of a forlorn figure, and you're just kind of waiting for him to move on. And it's sad because when he came onto the scene, when he was at the academy, Dave Pritt used to rave about him on Academy Review. When he first started playing for Man United under Ollie and then under Ralph Rangnick, he did really well. Scored a couple of good goals. Remember him scoring against Leeds. Obviously got that goal in Madrid. It was like, yes, he had that chant. And then he just drops off a cliff. And he kept getting picked when he shouldn't have been. There was no way on God's earth he should have been in the team ahead of Marcus Rashford. I don't care how bad Marcus Rashford's form was. His wasn't much better, and Marcus Rashford was an established Premier League player who scored loads of goals for United. And we kept playing this kid when his confidence had gone. And I just think like, a move is just the best thing all around. I wish him well. I think the jury's still out whether he's good enough for the Premier League, but we'll find out, because if he goes to Everton, or Forest for that matter, and it don't work out, then it's Championship tackling it.
Yeah.
You're not going from Forest, not making it happen, and then going to another Premier League club. No disrespect to them. You're just not. No. So, a good move for him. He's still 21, and let's face facts, there's a lot of 21-year-olds who haven't played 55 games for Manchester United like he has.
No.
So he's got a lot of experience for a young lad. The problem with it is, he hasn't scored for the last 30 odd of them.
No.
Which is obviously
He's just had a
terrible.
really shit time, hasn't he? And I think a move works for him. He's not really in the pecking order anymore. And, you know, 10 million quid, 10 to... Other rumours of 15 to 20, I think they're slightly... That seems quite high. Although, Jay, and I think this is our last story, but can I interest you in a football conspiracy that I came up with today while I was walking the dog?
Yeah, go on.
Not my dog, by the way.
What?
What?
I was walking the dog, not my dog, by the
It's
my
in-law's dog.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's not just
well, thanks for filling us in on that.
No, but I don't really think... You know I ain't got a dog, so if I said I was walking the dog, you might think I've now got a dog. So I just thought, you know, I'll just let you know that I ain't got a dog. Anyway, I've got a theory for you, and it centres around Manchester City's purchase of James Trafford. I can't get it out of my head. We spoke about it the other day on the watch.
You're obsessed with this.
And just to reiterate this for anyone at home who wasn't watching the watch along yesterday, who doesn't know this situation, as it stands, Burnley have made and it has been accepted, obviously, I think, a £19 million bid for James Trafford of Manchester City, right?
Yep.
He's a goalkeeper.
Yep.
This deal would make him be in and around the 10th most expensive goalkeeper of all time, just slightly south of that. He's one of the more expensive keepers in the history of football. So for that, you would think he must have a decent CV.
Yeah.
He has never played a game for Manchester City.
Right.
He has never played a game in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He has never played a game in the Championship.
Yeah.
He has played almost his entire career at Bolton in League One.
Yeah.
3 seasons at Bolton in League One. I think it's 3. I think he's played like 70 games for him.
Yeah.
Has made this guy, who is the definition of unproven, worth £19 million. That is a joke. And I honestly don't think it's just a joke. And this is just my opinion. I am making this up. This is not me stating this as a fact. I'm not trying to libel anyone here. I reckon, or I could see a scenario where teams who are struggling with FFP but have rich owners may start doing things where I sell you a player for twice what he's worth to any other team. So it's 10 million, I'll sell you for 20 million. Also, how about, by the way, Jay, I like your jacket that you've got there. My other company that I own, we could sponsor that jacket for you. How about we give you 20 million quid over the next 2 years? So basically, the sale that you bought from us is essentially free. But we won't put it through the clubs because that, you know, FFP-wise, we can't do that. Why wouldn't clubs be doing that? Like, because now so many clubs are owned by people who have got so many businesses.
Yeah.
Offering other clubs services from those businesses as ways to get around financial fair play makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
Do you think that's a thing that people could do?
Several strands to that. Yes, of course they could. Yeah. I agree with you on the idea of it. It could work. People would try that. There's a lot of these clubs that need to get around FFP somehow.
Yeah.
So that makes sense in terms of, okay, we'll buy him off you for 2 times or 5 times what he's worth, and then one of my other companies that's owned by my cousin or whatever is going to sponsor your sleeves for the amount you've just sold, you've just bought him off us for, so you've covered it. Yeah, what you said makes sense. However, I would say this, and I fucking hate Manchester City. I do think they are shady as, and I cannot wait until these 115 charges get rammed down their throats properly. It's going to be hilarious. But they're in a pretty strong position in FFP-wise, I think, because of the fact they've just won them trophies, the money they've brought in, they're selling players left, right, and centre anyway, and getting money for players that isn't dodgy. That certainly not from that point of view. And I know City have been dodgy in the past, but they're moving on players they don't need anymore and getting money for them. Also, when you're facing 115 charges, to carry on doing these things when you don't need to, it's just insanity. Like, you don't really need to do this. You've got all these charges hanging over your head. The whole of England wants to get you wants you to get found out, but you're going to carry on doing it when you don't really need to do it. I think is a bit of a weird one. That would be immensely stupid.
I'm not saying Man City, Jay.
All right,
I'm talking about theoretical.
Theoretical, yeah, 100%.
Although,
and also with the fact we were talking about this, I think it is a lot. I think prices are going up for goalkeepers anyway.
That's true.
And I think because he's a young kid, he's been in League One, it's a tough league, and you can kind of look at it and go, maybe there is something there. And I think for Burnley, it's a bit of a punt for them that could be worth it, because if he does well, great. He's going to keep you in the Premier League. Plus, he's probably going to play 38 games for him next season. And if you need to sell him on, if he does well, you get profit. If you don't, you've got a keeper that you can use. And also, if he doesn't quite work out, I know 90 million quid for a keeper's a lot of money, but we've seen teams that come up spending that on players. We've seen the likes of Forest and Bournemouth and all that. Bournemouth spent 40 odd million quid in January.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that at the time.
The money is insane.
Like, do you know what I mean? You think, they ain't got any dough. And I was looking at it when I was looking at how much we spent in January. Nothing, despite the fact we were firing on 4 fronts. And teams like Bolton and Leeds and teams like we're spending 30, 40 million. And you're like, hang on a minute, how are they doing it and we can't? So I'm with you on the idea that people will try and use that sort of way of getting around FFP. City are up to all sorts of shenanigans, and I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. But I don't know if that one is one of those things. Also, I think it's something that could happen now.
If no one's thought about that, good idea. You can have, if you don't want to pay loads of money for a player, just promise that club that you'll sponsor their kit or you'll sponsor their training ground or you'll buy them a new something, and then just get the player for cheaper instead. It's a good idea, that, isn't it? There you go. There's a way around FFP, everyone.
Joe Smith has cracked it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is one of those moments. You are like the Mark Bosman of the modern era. You changed football. Some would argue for the worse, some would argue for the better, but only time will truly tell.
I want players to be able to express themselves and not be tied down by these big mega corporations. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, if anyone does want to hire me as a way to sort of sniff through the cracks.
Just because you dress like that, you've been turned into Steve Jobs. If you preaching, do your TED talk on transfers.
If you want to hire me as a man, nay, a beast, that can sniff through the hairline cracks that exist in the FFP legislature, I will take up that mantle for a fee, a consultancy fee, of in excess of £300,000 per calendar day. Okay? That is simple. And my email address will be in the description. Thank you very much.
Thank you, right. We're going to wrap up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments and the chat. I think we are on, 1,200 likes, which is mint. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. There's another link in the chat for subscribe. So hit that subscribe button before you leave this stream.
Thank
Joe,
you.
where can what is this?
This is the David Cameron. It's rude to point, but I want to point at.
He liked that, didn't he, Cameron?
This is power, and this is presentation. Okay. And this has been Stretford Paddock. That has been Jay Motti. These are my views, and they are slanderous, but I don't mean it. It's only a laugh. Thanks for watching.